Hey, hi, hello. It's been a few minutes since we fully last spoke. There's a lot to that. Some of it being priorities, life, this not being like my main passion project. That would be Sinister Bunny. Making lots of stuff over there. But I just haven't found the motivation to record any of these, if I'm being honest. And it gets tough. Because I already balance so many things. And yet I want to add more things that I'm doing. And it's almost impossible to do all of the things that I want to do. Just one person can't do it. One person who has other things in life, like a day job and a partner and family stuff, you just can't do it all. Wish I could. A lot of things I'd love to be able to do. Biggest thing is my push here to become more financially independent, as I've spoken about for a while now. Which includes, finding a way out of my day job. I have come to some pretty serious conclusions about my placement at my current employer and their policies and how they view workers. True colors have shown. And although this wasn't my favorite place to choose to work at in the first place, it's just made me kind of despise it even more after learning some of the things that I've learned. And it's just sad. But I need to get out. I really, really need to get out. It's draining me of motivation to do anything for the most part. Hence why I started pushing for my freelance work as a photographer and videographer in my local area and whatnot. Started doing that. Ironically, I started it in kind of what the yearly dead season is because of winter. And I'm no expert in terms of knowing where to find clients and stuff during this time. Winter weddings. Live band shows. I've done some of that. It's pretty fun. Taking photos for bands. Indoor events mostly. Maybe some people want to take winter pictures. I'm not sure. I wouldn't want to. But hey. Winters in Michigan are pretty significant. Some people find it mesmerizing. I, on the other hand, just don't. And in the hypothetical situation where I can make enough money with like photography, which is a long shot still, and I can quit my day job. That's the best case scenario. So I can focus on my creative endeavors. My creative endeavors will fully pay the bills and stuff like that. That is the ultimate goal of all of it. Photography is one of those creative endeavors that I do enjoy partaking in. So it gets tough. I feel like I get paralysis, and the motivation that I have in my head slowly kind of fades away. just because of life. Drags you down. A lot of things get in the way that stop you from doing what you truly know that you love and want to do. And it makes things really tough. Motivation is a very core value for people, for us as humans. Motivation to do anything, because without motivation, what do? Nothing. You just exist. And I don't want to just exist. I want to make my footprint. I want to make a change of some kind, whether that's providing entertainment for people, taking amazing photos for people, creating musical escapes for people, whatever that may be. That is my purpose for life. And I know that now. It's definitely my purpose is to be a creative. And maybe that limits me in certain aspects, but I truly, truly believe that I will never be fully happy if I force myself to go down a road that's more logical and a decision made with all here, and none of here. It's taken some serious thinking and rattling around in my head to come to these realizations and understand these things. And it's tough because job market right now is shit. I'm not at a point content wise where it's paying the bills. And there is a part of me that just really wishes I could say, going to work on Monday, hey, I'm done. I'm out. I am fully committing myself to creating content and taking photos for people and stuff like that. I really wish I could do that. I do. I think that truly would make me feel fulfilled to whatever extent I can be, because I don't think creatives ever truly feel completely fulfilled. There's always that beckoning to create more, to fill that sense of something missing. And I think that's a core pillar of what makes creative people. A need to create, to feel accomplished, feel like you have a place, feel like you make some sort of difference. And I know when I go spouts of not creating anything, I get pretty down, pretty depressed, pretty demotivated to do anything. Because that one thing that truly fills that void in me isn't being done. And it takes a noticeable toll on my overall motivation for just life in general, for work, for staying healthy, for creating anything, music, content, this. I've done a lot of self-reflection over the last 2 years, maybe, and some more serious self-reflection in the last few months. And I know that there's the stigma of being a creative that will always be there. That's fine. People are going to think what they want to think. I can't change that. And I can't help but think that there's always this self-fulfilling prophecy of the starving artist, the struggling artist. With as cliche as that term is, that's what I feel like. I feel like a struggling yet aspiring artist. I want to do great things. I want to create things that many people enjoy. And there's a bit of narcissism maybe in that. I know I've done an episode or two about that kind of concept, but it is what makes me feel important. Knowing that people enjoy the things that I create, whether it's this or a new song or a cover or just a video of some kind that's helpful to 10 people, that's where it's at for me. It truly is. And I'm not a huge risk taker. I've taken risks, but I'm not the huge, like, taking leaps of faith. I don't do. I've always kind of played it safe to make sure that everything's safe. I think part of that comes from upbringing and things feeling not completely safe or stable. So I need to create some kind of environment that is the opposite. And I feel like that's held me back, personally, introspectively. So I'm working to adjust that. I would like to start taking more risks, putting myself out there more, and pushing myself to do more and do better. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to act upon the fantasy of going to my current employer and saying, hey, I'm done. I'm going to go focus on creating content and just hope that it works. That's not what I'm saying. We got a mortgage, wedding stuff to pay for, utility bills, animals to take care of, our own necessities. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. It'd be very, very difficult for me to do that. Unless one of us hits the lotto, comes into some kind of money or something like that. I can't. I can't. And that's tough. The feeling of stagnation, of not moving, not going anywhere, feeling stuck, it's terrible. It's brutal. And it takes a huge toll on your mental health. And I'll be the first one to admit that. I've never been an outwardly open person about my own mental health struggles. And again, that partly comes from upbringing and the environment that I was in, things I was taught. Stiffen that upper lip, suck it up. that type of thing. Bottle it up, keep it inside. Not having motivation to do the things you love, I feel like is a fate worse than death. Depression is a very serious thing that anybody can deal with. That anybody can become a victim to. Not everybody can deal with it. Most can't. That's why you have therapists and medication. But depression, I've felt. I had a very low spot in the early stages of the pandemic, like a lot of people. And as I've matured in my age, as I've gotten long in the tooth, and have done a lot more work on myself, I've come to realize my own brain, my own mental health status, my own shortcomings, my own issues. I've just done a lot of self-reflection. It's very tough. It's very tough. And I don't know my place right now. I know what I want it to be, but right now it's still up in the air, because what I want it to be is not yet a reality. And that causes a slurry of issues, just knowing that fact, as I've said. I'm not here trying to gain sympathy or anything from anybody. I just think being open about these kinds of things is important. And especially since mental health, even though it's making strides for sure, still can be pretty taboo. And especially when it comes to men's mental health, even more taboo. I think we're on the cusp of having more awareness and understanding for men's mental health. And I'm happy for that. I do think we've gotten kind of a bad rap for mental health stuff in the past, like a lot of people have. But once mental health started becoming more accepted and understood, men were still kind of like left behind a little bit in terms of being understood. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those alpha male, crypto tech bro, Andrew Tate, like women hating type of men. I'm not that. I'm not saying like, oh, men still have it the worst. Women just complain about blah, blah, blah. No. We all go through shit. I'm just saying, and speaking anecdotally, that my mental health, even to myself, has never been widely understood, accepted, or openly talked about. So I think it's important to do so, because transparency and honesty, I think, especially when it comes to stuff like this that is pretty serious for a lot of people's lives, that helps, get the ball rolling. It helps make the change for the better. And if I can have some small impact on that to get that ball past the finish line, so be it. I didn't always used to be this way. It's taken, again, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of learning, understanding. And it wasn't easy, because you get trained a very certain way, and then you try to untrain bad habits, and it's a lot harder to do that than it is to learn the right ones from the beginning. And I'm still learning. I'm not going to lie about that. I still make mistakes all the time. And the best I can say is that I'm trying to make changes for the better. But my motivation is dead right now. For a lot of things. I'm just in a low place when it comes to that, unfortunately. And around this time of year, especially in Michigan, you get the whole seasonal depression thing coming with the shitty winters that we have. Things get worse. People get down. Lack of sunlight. No vitamin D. But hey, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get myself in a place where I have some sort of stability and consistency with what I'm doing, even if it's as simple as recording one of these once a week. Just because, I started it, so I should continue with it. And keeping consistent creations coming in my other endeavors. So, that's today's talk. Motivation and my lack thereof at this moment in time. Don't mean for this to be a downer episode. Try to think of it as an open and honest conversation about the reality of what it is to be in the situation that I'm in. Somebody who's a creative, who's trying to make that work. Somebody whose love for music and film is one that drives everything that they do. Someone who just wants to make that their one sole purpose in life. That's me. Like many of you probably. We're in the same boat. Or maybe not. Maybe you get something different. It's cool too. But yeah. Stay open, guys. Hopefully this helps some of you. Maybe it gives you a better understanding of my brain, how I work. Maybe not. Maybe I just rambled for 25 minutes with nothing good to say. But hey, at least I recorded this episode. Thank you guys for always sticking around. Hopefully I can get these up going, like I've said for the millionth time, more consistently. I will do it. I gotta fight that seasonal depression and lack of motivation. This has got to be something that anchors that. It's just one episode a week. I can put aside an hour every week. I can. I'm going to tell myself that I can't because I have other more important things to do, but I can. I'm working on it. Thank you guys.